Once the oil has been through the filter, it makes its way to the main oil gallery, which is this passageway which is drilled through the block. And from the main oil gallery, the oil goes to the various parts of the engine that need to be lubricated. The easiest way for us to show this is with CGI, but we don't have that available right now. So what I will do is I'll talk you through where the oil goes, and hopefully you can get some idea of its uses. So from the main gallery, the oil goes to the main bearings, which hold the crankshaft, and they are lubricated through oil ways drilled in the engine block itself. The oil also goes to jets. So on this engine we have jets which lubricate the underside of the pistons and cool those, and also spray oil onto the cylinder walls. The oil makes its way up from the main gallery towards the cylinder head, and on the way it passes through the oil restrictor, which sits in the engine block itself. And the oil restrictor is there to maintain high oil pressure in the bottom end of the engine. So it's relatively easy for the oil to flow up into the cylinder head, but what we want is for the oil to be forced through the main bearings, which is where we want the majority of the lubrication. So that's the job of the oil restrictor. It's a narrowing of the passageway, basically a small hole, which the oil is forced through to keep the pressure up down there. Once the oil is in the cylinder head, it has a whole fresh network of oil ways to work its way through, and those take the oil to the camshafts where we lubricate the bearings here. There are also holes that run into the follower bores and lubricate the followers, so those get fresh oil, and that oil makes its way down to keep the valve springs and the valve stems nicely lubricated. Once the oil has made its way around, and on each circulation the oil really only performs one task, so it lubricates one bearing and then it drops back to the sump, or it lubricates the cylinder wall and again drops back. What doesn't happen is the oil does not lubricate one thing, then another, then another. It just does one task on each circulation. But once its task is complete, it drops back into the sump. And from the cylinder head, there are two oil return holes which run all the way through the engine and drop the oil out into the sump.